I'm Randy Stewart. I'm an associate professor of classics in the Department of Languages at the University of Utah. I teach Greek classes and Latin classes, and one of my favorite subjects, Greek and Roman mythology.
And I'm Tanya Dressler. I'm the Assistant Dean for Undergraduate Affairs in the College of Humanities, and I am passionate about all things Italian, especially Sicily. We are very excited to take you on a mythical odyssey in Sicily with us this May. So our trip begins on the ancient island of Ortygia in Syracuse, where we will experience not just a quaint small town, but also the origins of Greek civilization on the island of Sicily.
And there in Ortygia, we'll see the spring that Arethusa turned herself into to get away from the river Alpheus. But we'll find out that it didn't work. He got her anyway.
They always do. We will also attend a production of Aristophanes' The Wasps, which is actually a comedy.
And there's nothing like seeing an ancient Greek play in an ancient Greek theater. It comes alive in a way it just can't from the written page.
Some of the other highlights that we're going to see while we're in Sicily are actually 5 of the 6 UNESCO World Heritage sites that are on the island of Sicily. Ortygia being the first, but we will head on to see Ragusa, which is a beautiful baroque city that is a masterpiece of architecture. We will visit Agrigento, which is home of some of the best preserved Greek temples in the world.
And we'll talk about the labors of Heracles, known to the Romans as Hercules, and a shrine was built to Heracles in that valley of the temples.
We'll also visit the ancient Roman hunting lodge of Villa Casale, where you'll see some of the best preserved Roman mosaics in the world.
And those Roman mosaics, we're going to talk about the stories behind them and talk about the Roman Empire and the kind of people who lived in villas like that. It's going to be great.
But it's not all just about the ancients. We're also going to visit some vineyards, we'll have cooking lessons, and we'll really delight ourselves with the palate and the cuisine of Sicily.
And the wine of Sicily.
Salute, or cin cin as they say in Italy. So after we delight our palates, we'll head up north to stop and relax in a sleepy fishing village called Cefalù, which is home to some of the most beautiful medieval architecture in Sicily. And you can either relax on the beach there, or you can climb up to La Rocca, which is home to a Saracen fortress as well as a temple dedicated to Diana.
Diana, known to the Romans as Artemis. We'll find out that maybe she wasn't quite as virginal as the stories would have us believe.
After Cefalù, we will head to Mount Etna, which is the last World Heritage site we'll visit on this trip, and ultimately descend into Taormina.
And at Etna, we'll of course tell stories about the fire gods, Hephaestus, the Greek fire god, and Vulcan, the Roman fire god. We'll talk about the differences between them and what was going on underneath Mount Etna.
So one of the highlights that we're really excited about is that we'll spend 2 nights in an Agriturismo, which is basically a working farm. And these are present all over Sicily, all over Italy in fact. And at this farm we'll be sleeping in a centuries-old olive grove. So we'll be surrounded by absolutely gorgeous mature olive trees. We'll have a chance to relax by the pool, we'll be having cooking lessons and an olive oil tasting, as well as being fed by vegetables from the farm. It's going to be a real treat. We'll end our trip in Taormina looking over the Ionian Sea and toast to hopefully a fantastic 12 days together, and we'll see you all at the reunion after we get back.
I've been in Sicily later in the year, but never in May. What's the weather like in May, Tanya?
We chose May because it is absolutely the most perfect time weather-wise to visit Sicily. The temperatures are around 70 degrees. The ocean is warm enough that you can take a dip, and yet the Sicilians don't think it's warm enough yet, so you have it all to yourself. The beaches are still deserted but beautiful, the sun is shining, and all of the flowers are in bloom, and the inland of the island just is exploding with color. So it's a really beautiful time to be driving through the countryside and spending some time on the coast. So we really look forward to traveling to Sicily with you in May.
We'll see you in Syracuse.